Iowa tag punch, baby.
All right, guys, welcome back to Loophole's Dream Season Live. The season's rolling on, and it's hard to believe that we're already on episode 12, but here we are. This week, we have a great one for you guys. This show consists of 2 awesome decoy hunts in late November in Iowa, one with new DoD intern himself, Darrin Ropp, and the other one with Deer Season 22 editor Josh Sparks. Both of these are great bucks, and they really show the power of having a decoy during the lockdown phase of the rut. I know that we are, and I'm sure many of you out there are as well, excited for late season muzzleloader. So good luck in the woods, wear your orange, be safe, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and thank you guys for watching Loophole's Dream Season Live.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by the new specially designed, lightweight and durable Tenzing Hang Time Day Pack. Go further, hunt longer, Tenzing.
It's exciting to get back out here, earning the opportunity, creating the opportunity, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully some bucks start to show up. This year is going to be a whole lot of speed scouting, hanging hunting, and just trying to make the best decisions and hunt when we can. A lot of fun doing this type of stuff. This is why Carson and I spend all the time that we do on a computer editing, so we get to come out here and do stuff like this. All right, guys, well, here it is, another episode of Loophole's Dream Season Live, and we're very excited to bring this one your way. Today, it's actually opening day of late muzzleloader here in Iowa. And to think that we're already to this portion of the season is pretty crazy, but at the same time, it's been an incredible year up until this point, and I couldn't be any more happy for everybody who's found success on the team. And this episode is all about my season, Carson's season, and new incoming team member Darrin Ropp, who is actually our 2022 Iowa intern, how his season unfolded. So we hope you enjoy it. We're gonna get right into the action. Going back to the 2021 season, we spent a lot of time on a lease that I had that was roughly about an hour, hour and a half from where we work on a daily basis. Had a lot of good encounters there, a lot of good hunts, but as we got towards the end of the season, we started calculating all the time that we spent on the road opposed to actually in the woods. And so one of our main goals for 2022 was to find ground, permission or otherwise, that was gonna be a lot closer to where we spent our day-to-day editing. And shout out to Carson, I was working on Bow Madness all spring and summer. This guy was putting in the miles on the truck, knocking on doors, and ultimately, he was able to secure some permission. And so now as we fast forward into the 2022 summer, excitement is super high for Carson and I. And mix in, all of a sudden, here comes Darrin Ropp, our new intern, trying to teach him along the way. He's got the goal of wanting to capture a hunt on film this year. And so September was more than anything a month of preparation, a month of learning. All right, so October arrives. Carson and I get a couple of hunts in, we get a doe down, and really came down to one thing: earning the opportunity by getting our work done. October 25th, but we've had one deer on camera that's caught our eye that we just really want to get our eyes on. It's this giant big frame 8-pointer. Hopefully he does it one more time. We're in the pre-rut time frame. Cannot wait to see how it unfolds. Hopefully we lay eyes on this big 8-pointer. Carson, you ready?
I'm ready to roll.
October 25th. We're packing up in the office right now. Let's go this way. Carson and I have both of our sets of clothes in here, ready to get a bath from the scent crusher. This is a TSA compliant bag, so if you're doing those out-of-state trips that require taking an airplane, plenty of space obviously, and telescopic pull handle, you could take it through the airport if needed. Obviously as we've been using it, it's very rugged. I just throw it in the back of my truck, to and from with us everywhere that we go. Just overall, a very, very solidly constructed bag that Carson and I have been putting through the ringer, and ultimately has been making it nice for both of us, hunting together to and from each spot. And we have a cold front that has arrived today. And we're gonna sneak out, sit in the woods, and we're gonna hunt that new stand that we hung 2 or 3 days ago, last Sunday. And we're hoping that the Big 8 makes an appearance. It's been 3 to 4 days since we last got him on camera. See if it pays off. Let's get her done, buddy.
Let's do it.
I feel so organized yet. Come on. All right, guys, well, 4 p.m. and Carson and I are set up for our most anticipated sit so far this season. We are sitting in the white oak that we hung on Sunday. We got this double up super quick before that big rain event came through, and DeerCast is great, and we're looking for 2 specific bucks. First being the big 8. We also got him on a camera down here on the path, but we're hoping with all that rain and the rising pressure that's what's going to get him on his feet, come work all these scrapes, renew them. We've had a bunch of small bucks working them so far, but none of them matures. And that leads to the second buck. There's a split 2, you got a split G2 on his right side, super mature buck. We just want to get a better look at him because he's definitely number 2, and as you've seen on the 8-point, it's pretty apparent why. I mean, I'm really going to, hold out, just to be honest. Big 8, day 1. Let's see if we can get it down in the first sit.
Well, you want to talk about a really cool first encounter right there? Dude, that's awesome. Sweet.
Well, we didn't see him. We did get to witness a heck of a beautiful encounter with that young 3-year-old 8, putting all the vocalizations and showcasing, hopefully, all the excitement that was to come with the impending rut in November. Well, again, we're picking our shots. Carson's hunting some, I'm hunting some, kind of just depended which farm we were getting after. November arrives, November 8th, freshly picked corn close by, rut funnel in November, lots of target bucks in the area. Carson's got the Matthews in hand. We're gonna head in there. We haven't been there in a while. And ultimately, what happens? We have one of our best hunts of the entire year.
Right. Southeast wind today. We're coming from the west, walking southeast. We're gonna cut across the bean field, slip down the edge, get up into the tree. But
About 700 yards short.
yeah, it saves us a lot of sweat. So we're gonna keep walking and get in there. All right, guys, well, here it is, November the 8th. Josh and I are just now getting settled in. We're back in here at the river farm. It's been about a week or so since we've been last in here. We got this southeast wind. It's east-southeast, and our hope is that these bucks are gonna be running this river bottom, checking for does. And the last time we were in here, they had just picked this corn to our east. So there's a few bucks we're in here after, a new 10-point with a kicker off his G2, and then Flame and the brow buck that we've had all year long. So it's a great month of November. Anything's possible. We're gonna sit back and see what happens here. Back left. do that now. See him? I don't think it's one of our shooters. Is it? Looks like an 8 to me. Yep, here comes a buck. Another buck, good buck. Carson, this might be a shooter. It's the 9. Yep. I mean, your call, but yeah, it's him. Actually, Carson, he's coming. Yeah. Okay. Looking. Yeah, I would stop there. He doesn't see anything, that's why. This other buck's coming right behind us. This might work. That was a pretty awesome encounter. That buck we've got some pictures of, that little 9-point, and then the big 9 came out from the same spot as him and worked his way through the woods right by our other set. I mean, can't make it up. Walks probably, within 15, 20 yards of it. So easily, yeah. He used the crossing, that's a 10. Yeah.
Well, we had high expectations going into that hunt, and those expectations were met. You know, we saw a pile of deer, a couple of different good bucks, including the buck that we were able to grunt across the fence. And that led us to the evening of November 13th. You know, this is a spot that we have right off the road. It's a set that we hung a couple of weeks prior, and we've been getting some pictures of some mature bucks in the area, specifically this buck that we've known since the very beginning of summer. This buck we call Split 2. Carson and I are heading in there. He's got the Matthews in hand, and this is just another awesome hunt that showcases the power of calling during this time of the year. Carson, we'll see if he gets it done.
All right, guys, well, here it is, November the 13th. Josh and I are just getting everything set up in the tree. Josh just had the camera out of the bag, and that fawn worked its way right underneath us. Pretty cool. Had a couple cars go by, and the fawn just stood right here. We've been in here one other time and had a great encounter with a great 3-year-old. So we've took advantage of the morning to edit and got a lot done. And now the wind's consistent. And seeing that calm wind that would have just had our scent swirling in here slowly progressed to a consistent southeast. So we got a couple hours and we're gonna sit tight and see what happens. Grunt at him. Heard that, Snorways. I think it is Split 2. I play off. Yeah, yep. Grunt. No, he's walking him off. There he goes. He's coming back, Josh. He's coming back. He's at that scrape coming right at us. It's just a nice 8. is split two. Hopefully I don't regret that later. But that was an awesome encounter with the buck. We call the split two buck, and we weren't sure it was him at first. He's got that tooth broken off now and a broken brow, but whew, he was close. He did exactly what we wanted him to do. He got to the base of the tree and I was debating on what to do. I might regret that. We'll see.
So here's another example on the permission farms of the plan coming together, just not quite the right deer. You know, we knew we had a chance of seeing split two in there, didn't realize how busted up he was. And ultimately, you know, that's a bird in the hand type of situation where you got to just decide whether that's the buck you want to wrap your tag around. And at that moment, Carson did not feel that way with all the different deer that we had in front of us on other farms. As the month of November progresses, you know, the food becomes the hot spot. And we were seeing that on our Reconnaissance trail cameras. Less bucks, less does, just less deer in general. And ultimately, you know, we were very fortunate in the respect that Mark offered us the opportunity. There's 2 farms that he has that Wade, him, and Perry have put a ton of work in, and they really haven't been hunted. Standing beans on the farm that we're gonna hit first here, and this is gonna be my first experience using a decoy, and man, was the action addicting. We had some awesome encounters. The first night, had a beautiful 3-year-old do it perfectly. He just ultimately wasn't the deer we were in there after. And then night number 2, we had 2 bucks that just didn't quite read the script. You know, I did have a nice 10-pointer in range, ultimately chose to hold off because of a severe quartering 2 angle, and that was that. But man, talk about addicting, and the decoy plays a bigger role as this episode continues on and arrives November 19th. Carson's got the bow in hand. We're coming back to the town farm to see if we can lay eyes on that 8-pointer. But re-enter into this story Darrin Ropp, and he's going to a farm with his brother behind the camera, decoy in hand, standing beans. Carson and I are heading to the town farm, alfalfa, decoy in hand is also. 2 teams out tonight. We're gonna see who gets it done.
Well, it's November the 19th, and to say I'm excited about this afternoon sit would be an understatement. My brother and I are going in, sitting over a standing bean field. It's tucked right in close to bedding. There's several mature deer on this farm. My brother was actually able to kill one out of the same blind that we're going to just a week or so ago. We're taking a decoy, and we're gonna tough it out a little bit this evening. We're gonna be sitting in a homemade bale blind that's kind of half falling apart, but it'll hopefully keep us hidden, and it won't keep us warm, but it'll keep us hidden. So we're gonna bundle up here and try to tough it out in this 26-degree weather and 20+ mile-an-hour winds. It's gonna be cold, but hopefully that gets the deer on their feet and on those beans. We're expecting to see a lot of action this evening, so stay tuned. Hopefully we see a giant. Fingers crossed.
set up. And the first deer of the evening we seen was a doe walking the fence line. When we came in here, I told Josh if we had an opportunity at a doe close, I'd probably take her just to let the first arrow of the season fly. And it's late to be doing so, but met its mark and looked like she piled up just in the woods over there. But beautiful evening. It's cold, really cold. We got that 18-mile-an-hour northwest wind right in our face. So hopefully that won't be the only one of the evening. Hopefully we can get a buck to come in and posture to the decoy and do the same walk. So, well, hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy in here. We've got 20-plus-mile-an-hour winds. It is quite noisy in this blind. It's whipping this mesh around like crazy. The ground's too frozen. Quartering deer into the wind, so that way hopefully it won't blow over. Hopefully this works out. The stage is kind of set, honestly. I can shoot out of all 3 windows. I can shoot out straight to the decoy. Hopefully stay warm and the deer start moving soon. Should be a fun set.
side, he's down right there. Yep. Down. He's down. But I see a lot of blood coming out as he was running away. I put my 30-yard pin right on him. Yards, that was right. I had a really nice buck in here earlier. I ended up passing him because I thought he was probably 3.5. But this deer came in. I think he's 5.5. I don't think we know this deer. We don't have any pictures of him. But I'm convinced he's fully mature. Congratulations, brother.
Big buck down?
Let's go. Darrin, you did not.
Did you get it on video? Oh yeah.
Darrin, our intern just called and said he shot one.
Congrats, dude. Con-freaking-grats. You know, our whole theme this year has been earning an opportunity inside the office to get out. Well, that guy's been doing it just as much as anybody. Congrats, dude. And can't wait to hear about it.
That's what you want to see. Rage 2-blade, bloody victory. She was pumping it good when she ran away. November 19th. All right, well, my brother is here, Josh, Carson, and Bridget. We're all here, and we've given him about an hour and a half now. We looked on DeerCast track, and we're pretty sure I got top of lungs, and hopefully that vein that runs right along the top of those lungs there, he was bleeding really good. So hopefully he's laying right down here into this timber, and we can walk right up on him and find him pretty quick here. There he is right there.
Dude, congrats. Let's go, buddy.
You didn't go very far.
Darren. Good work, dude.
All right, well, it is the evening of November the 19th, and it sure was a good evening. DeerCast said great, and it really was great. We've seen probably 50 deer better. My brother and I, this was our first deer we ever killed together, and my first deer that I've ever killed on film. This is my first year with DruryOutdoors, and had an opportunity to come up here and do an internship with them, and this is just really a full circle moment.
I think Darren hit it on the head, full circle moment. There's, you know, this whole episode has been so far about trying to earn the opportunity. And, you know, Carson and I, we talked about all the editing, all the videography, and that kind of leads to our hunting opportunity. Well, no better example than Darren here. You know, he is our first ever intern up here in Iowa. To see this come together for him, it's super, super awesome. And Carson shot a doe tonight. You know, one thing I think is kind of important to note is these really frigid temperatures that we've got here in Iowa. The past few sits on that farm, Carson has seen great buck activity, a lot of does. Well, then the frigid temperatures hit. And tonight we saw one doe. These guys sat the standing beans like we have the past few nights, had an incredible hunt. Heck of a way, man. You know, this is first buck kill for us three, so couldn't be happier for you. Couldn't be more deserving, and earning the opportunity at its finest.
Get ahead of your game with a 14-day DeerCast prediction, mapping, radar, wind check, rain station, path tracking, and more. Prep, predict, and pursue with DeerCast.
Well, I don't need to say it again. You know, obviously you saw all the camaraderie that took place that night of November 19th. You know, Darren, just got to give you a huge shout out, man. You know, Carson and I cannot be more expressive of how thankful we are for ultimately all the hard work that you've put in this year, man, because everything that we've seen on this episode really wouldn't have happened without you getting the job done that you have. And I have a feeling it's not going to be the last time we see the Ropp brothers put down a buck on camera. So, following all the excitement of November 19th, Carson and I still have 2 buck tags burning holes in our pocket, and we have the Thanksgiving holiday looming, and Carson's got to go back to Ohio. So, November 21st arrives. We've got less than ideal conditions. It's pretty warm, but that brought to our attention the other small farm that Mark had offered us to potentially go and hunt if we wanted. And man, what comes next, we did not expect. We had the hunt of a lifetime. Carson's behind the bow. Let's see if we can finally get it done.
All right, guys, well, here it is, November the 21st. Josh and I are just getting settled in. This is actually my last day of hunting before I head back to Ohio for the Thanksgiving holiday. But with that being said, tonight we have a northwest wind, and we don't really have any great spots that set up for a northwest on the permission farms. And I was talking to Mark today, and he said, you know, if you guys want to, the 80 might not be a bad option. He's got MRI of a couple good shooters here. On this particular 80, we have a big plot of green and wheat, and then also beans. So there's multiple reasons for him to be here. With any luck, one of these shooters will come by and present us with a shot before the night's over.
That's a big A-pointer, man. Isn't he?
Looks like it, yeah. Real high rack deer.
Yeah. Definitely got the maturity.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Probably shoot him if he comes in.
Okay.
As far as grape trees, 27. farther in that. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be too far, right? 70. Yeah, I was at the bank on something coming back. I wish we had a breaking decoy. The 8 just flared off. Bunch of does running at us. You might have deer spooking. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Oh boy, get your bow, Carson. Something in the woods spooked him. You know, like in the north side of the woods. It's a coyote. He's on the trail. See him? That cow's literally just hanging out there. He like them too. Probably follow where their nose went up first, but. He's right there. I'll open this vertical. Okay. Hurry up. Get there, those beans. He's gonna go to that other deer.
Oh man, what else do you say other than the fact that if you would have asked me to put a money bet on the fact that we weren't going to get one of those 2 bucks in the bow range after that coyote pushed him over the hill, I really thought we were going to get it done. Carson was on edge the whole night, and it just unfortunately didn't come together. But get Carson to the airport. My man's leaving me behind, going home to see his family, and November 22nd arrives. We still got less than ideal conditions, pretty warm, but there's one distinguishing thing that we took away from the evening's hunt before. We should have had a decoy with us. And I think that ultimately, watching the behavior of both that 10-pointer and the 8, you know, we knew that they had an aggressive mentality about them. And that could be the difference between making that long bean field, shrinking it into bow range. So luckily, I got the A-team man, Perry Batten, who seems to just have the lucky horseshoe in his pocket this season. He's coming behind the camera. We got the decoy in hand, grunt tube in the pocket. We're gonna see if we can get it down on one of these 2 bucks.
All right, well, Perry and I are set up in the same blind that Carson and I were yesterday evening. Luckily, we still have a good enough wind to get back in here. Only change from last night is that we brought a decoy, but we got it set up. It's just to our south here, and with a southwest wind, we're hoping that where those bucks stepped out last night, that'll cause them to come across his beans, hop into this green, try to get up front in front of this guy, and present us with a 20-yard shot. So in theory, we've got a good plan. We're looking for 2 of the bucks that we saw last night, the big 8 and the broken G2, the 10 with the base kicker. This spot is just tucked right next to the bedding, which hopefully will be the difference maker between seeing a mature buck in daylight and not. Hopefully tonight's the night. Carson and I have been hunting quite a bit, and we're looking to fill that first tag. So November, let's go. Oh, this is like a big flop-eared 8. Pretty here. Don't do it. Whatever you're thinking about doing, do not do it. He's coming out to the left of those guys, same trail though. I got him. Come on, see us down here. You know you want to. He's a horse, isn't he?
He is a horse. Do you have a grunt call?
hasn't locked on the decoy yet, has he?
I don't know if he can see the decoy.
Yeah, I'll just let him do his thing.
Yeah, he's going to
pretty
those.
committed.
He's going to those other bucks, which would tell you eventually he's probably going to come down here.
That's what I would say. Everybody's just feeling feisty tonight.
He's coming.
If he hits that path, I'd say he's coming.
Yep. Yep. You didn't hear that?
I'm gonna do a wheeze. Okay.
Yep. You heard it. Hold tight.
Okay.
He's coming.
Is he?
Yep. He's gonna go behind us. Are you kidding me?
Hopefully he just gets on that path.
Yeah, he's coming.
Tell me if I'm really trying to get it up.
Hold on, hold on.
Yep.
He's bristling up right here at 30. Here he comes.
I shoot him in that black patch, okay?
Yep.
Mark. Mark. Mark.
How'd that look? I see blood. Yeah, he's pumping. I can see it. It's an inch and a half above, the white.
Yeah.
Held off that shoulder. Oh, he just fell. He just almost fell.
I know, I got it.
I think he's gonna go down. Yeah. Congrats, dude. I'm not gonna make any noise. We're gonna give him some time for sure. We think he just went down, but that's that big 8 from last night. He was an awesome deer. I mean, he came out, went straight to that other group of bucks, came to the south, walked by that scrape and was going to the east, and then threw a couple grunts his way. He didn't respond to the grunts. The snort wheeze was ultimately got him. Just couldn't handle it at that point, and then did it perfect. And I mean, he gave me a 22-yard shot, and I thought I put it where it needed to go, but once he stopped on the edge of that field, it looked maybe a touch low. He was losing blood. We saw the pressurized blood when he was running, and then Perry got it really awesome, but you can watch him, that tail starts flicking, and then, ultimately, I think he went down right there. So, brother, I appreciate you so much.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. The feeling never gets old.
No.
I'm so glad you're here, man.
Yeah, dude.
You bet. Oh yeah, he's pouring right there. I see a buck. My goodness, dude, the body on that thing. Oh my. November 22nd. Well, you guys, what else is there to say other than a huge thank you to Mr. Mark Drury and Perry Batten and Carson Brandt for, the culmination to what I would call just one of the most fun seasons I've ever had. At the beginning of the year, once we started the Dream Season Live series, Carson and I introduced the Permission Farms, and we've had a lot of fun on them. We've had a lot of good encounters, hunted some really great deer, passed some good deer. Going back to last night, we switched things up, and with this time of the year, having the food's pretty dang critical as these bucks return, start trying to put on that body weight before winter.
And it was just the perfect recipe for some incredible hunting. You know, despite it being warm and DeerCast saying pour, it's one thing that, you know, you repeatedly hear Wade, Perry, and Mark talk about, is that just because something is saying pour or okay, doesn't mean you don't go. You just have to switch up your strategy a little bit. And after last night's hunt, we knew exactly where we wanted to be. We saw this guy, he put on an absolute show, working every other buck off the field. And we knew with that attitude that, you know, decoying was definitely gonna be a good opportunity to bring him into range. He worked it perfect. Good things happen when you surround yourself with good people. I couldn't be more thankful, and hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Best of luck hunting out there if you still got a tag left to fill, and really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch Louisville Poles Dream Season live. It's a night that I definitely will not forget. Couldn't be more thankful to Mark for letting us be there in the first place, Perry taking the time to film me. To see it come together that way with the usage of the decoy and the grunt was definitely something I will never forget. And before we move on from this hunt, you know, that's one thing I did want to address, is that, you know, the usage of the decoy, no doubt I'm addicted to. You know, you've seen it a couple of times now in this episode. When it happens and it works, it is freaking awesome. But on this particular occasion with this 8-pointer, despite his attitude that night, despite his attitude the evening before, he saw this decoy and just acknowledged it, but didn't fully commit. And with this scenario in mind, one thing that I definitely wanted in addition to the decoy was the ability to make a call if needed. This particular hunt, I had the buck bark from Hunter Specialties in my pocket, and this is the same call that we've used all season long, all the way from October to this current day, November 22nd. It's an injection molded grunt tube with a built-in snort wheeze, and number one thing about a grunt tube is its reliability. It sounds realistic, and as you saw, the grunts got his attention, but ultimately that snort wheeze is what closed that distance, changed his attitude, and brought him in on that string. So again, just a season of so many great memories and so many people to thank. You know, Carson, ultimately appreciate your brother for sticking it out all the way through, and we still got to get a tag filled for you. Darren, for all your hard work in the office. Mark, for the opportunity that we get every single day. Perry, for filming me that beautiful evening. Lots of hunts coming your way. Hope you've had a great season. Appreciate all the time you've taken to watch this episode. And best of luck if you have a tag left to fill.
Huge congrats to Darren and Josh on those 2 great bucks. Very much earned, well deserved. Those hunts really go to show you how great a decoy can be in the right location come the end of November. My dad and I have been very blessed the last couple of weeks to wrap our final tags around 2 mature studs. Be on the lookout for those hunts in the upcoming episodes. We appreciate the continued support, and as always, thank you for watching Louisville Poles Dream Season Live.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow experts.